Welcome to the Budget Archive. My name is Mitch. Today we're going to start off with what I believe is the best bang for your buck deck. Even on a budget, this deck can be a real threat to those at the top of the meta. So let's get on with the deck list. As you can see from the deck list, I haven't built this to be the most aggressive deck possible, due to a lot of the higher damage outputs not being as budget friendly. However, this deck is capable of playing both fast and slow games. In our material deck we have Spirit of Wind, Lorraine Wandering Warrior, Lorraine Blade Master, Fire Resistance Bauble. We have all three baubles in this deck as it is our main draw power. Being a budget deck, we don't have access to Grand Sazerac. You can change which ones are main board and sideboard based on what your local meta plays. We have Nullifying Lantern. This is great into decks that rely on their graveyard being a certain element, such as Fire Lorraine. Automobile Greatsword is brought out with Lorraine level 1, giving a damage buff to an ally already on the field. Poison Coating Oil is a great damage buff, giving 2 damage to an ally with stealth. Safeguard Amulet is great into decks relying on non-attack damage. Smoke Bomb is great if your opponent has a taunt ally, or even if you just want to protect one of your own allies. Sword of Seeking is also brought out with Lorraine level 1, and has a true sight, allowing you to attack units with stealth. Terraforming allows you to slow down attack-based decks, giving you an extra turn. Water Resistance Bauble with Wind Resistance Bauble in the sideboard. In the main board we are running Full Deflecting Edge, great defensive card. Imperial Recruit, this is a great value ally. 2-drop 1/3 that if your opponent doesn't do any damage to it, on your following turn it will become a 2/3. Lurking Assailant is probably one of the best allies in the deck, being a 2/3 3-drop that also has Stealth while it's awake. This is probably your optimum turn 1 play. Scavenging Raccoon is another great play, as on enter you banish 2 cards from a single graveyard. Often this is used against your opponent's floating memory. Woodland Squirrels is another great card, 0-drop 1/1. This is often used in conjunction with Ace and Protector, as we'll see, to bounce it back to your hand. Adept Swordmaster is another great card. This is a flexible on the deck, however I do feel it works very well, as when you bring out Lorraine level 1, you bring out Sword of Seeking, and this gives the weapon +1, allowing Lorraine to attack something such as a Dream Fury and kill it with 1 attack. Ace and Protector is one of the best cards in the deck, being a 3/4 of intercept, and on enter, return target ally you control to its owner's hands. A lot of people see this as a negative, but it is not. It allows you to bounce things such as the Woodland Squirrels or the Scavenging Raccoon back to your hand, and play them again. As well as that, Brisk Windtrotter is another card that you bounce with Ace in. It says on enter, put a buff counter on target ally you control. This can be used in many different ways, as once you bounce it with Ace in, you're able to play it again, giving Ace in the buff, resulting in a 4/5 interceptor, which is very hard to get rid of, as well as being able to play something like Lurking on turn 1, and then Brisk Windtrotter straight away, giving it a buff counter. So getting rid of a 3/4 with stealth is very hard on turn 1. Hurricane Sweep is one of the best cards in the deck. It is a 1 attack card with cleave, so when it attacks, it will attack all units on the field. You combo this with Lorraine Blade Master, which has an on enter of until end of turn, Lorraine's attacks get +2 and gain on kill, draw a card. This is mainly used into other decks that are running a lot of allies, so when you attack, you are often going to be drawing 3 or 4 cards as well as clearing their board. Shimmercloak Assassin is another great ally. It's a 2/2 for 3, which isn't the greatest of stat lines. However, it has stealth, so it is also very hard to get rid of for decks that aren't running a lot of non-attack damage or running True Sight. We then have Swift Recruit, which is another decent little ally, just a 1/2 for 2. Has Intercept and Foe Memory, just basically a attack blocker to stop your opponents from attacking you directly. Decent card. We then have Trained Hawk, another one of the 3 drops with 2/2. Again, prefer 2/3s, however this has True Sight and Vigor, so you're able to attack in things like Dream Fury and other stealth units, and Vigor just allows you to have that extra protection so that they can't attack it with something with low health as well. This is also a good target for you to hit with Brisk Windtrotter, giving it a buff counter, creating a 3/3 True Sight Vigor, which is a very powerful card to have. Unrelenting Warden is basically just here as a 3-drop 2/3. If you do get to Lorraine level 2, then it also has Vigor itself, however this very rarely comes into effect. Bathing Breeze is your main defense card. The deck is predominantly wind cards, and this just allows you to protect yourself against mass damage coming in, and can give you that extra turn in order to win. Vigilant Sentry, again, 2/3 3-drop, that's it. Guardian class bonus for taunt, you're not going to get it here. It's only here as a 2/3 attacker. Windrider Vanguard, on the other hand, is a 3-drop 2/3 that does have class bonus Warrior Vigor. So this is just going to be another one of those ones where you probably want to hit it with Brisk Windtrotter, giving a buff counter, becoming a 3/4 with Vigor. So it's very hard for them to remove it. Zephyr is a great card. Allows you to suppress your allies to help them survive. So rather than just trying to protect them on the field, you get rid of them completely. They can't be touched. It is also very good in order to suppress things like Terrafring at the end of your opponent's turn and give you that edge up in order to win. In the sideboard, we have Nullifying Lantern. This is great against other decks running Veiling Breeze. Just allows you to make their memory norm so they can't Veiling Breeze and prevent any damage you would deal to them. Wind Resonance Bauble, as before, this can be changed with either of the other two baubles mainboard, or even if your local meta isn't running anything that relies on the graveyard, you can take Nullifying Lantern to the sideboard, put Wind Resonance Bauble onto the mainboard. Arrow Trap, this is mainly here due to us not having access to Dream Furies due to budget. This is mainly here for decks like Gembu, which have Spell Shroud on the ally, allowing you to get through that with this and get rid of it before they're able to kill you. Cleansing Reunion is a great card. You're always imbuing it basically, and you'll be banishing 6 cards from your opponent's graveyard. This is often used if your opponents put Floating Memory into the bin, or they've put fire cards in there in order to use something like a Rending Flames. This is just a great card all around into decks like that. Hurricane Sweep, if you're versing allies, bring a 3rd copy in, why not? Innovate Agility, now this is a great card. It gives all units you control either your choice of Stealth or Spell Shield, so it's versatile against multiple different decks, as well as having additional cost of de-leveling and recovering 5. So you do recover 5 damage, but you do have to de-level your champion, effectively negating that recover 5. However, as long as you're in a situation where your opponent's not going to be able to kill you with the other form of damage, then you're able to level up back into Lorraine on your next turn, and bring another sword out, carry on the game, as well, and then you also have all the allies that are on the field still available to you. To finish things off, we have a cost breakdown of the deck. At the time of recording, all these cards are available at these prices on TCG Player. However, as a lot of these cards are seen as bulk cards, you should be able to find someone to either sell you this whole list at cheaper, or to just give you the cards if they're local. So we have Material Deck coming in at $3.01 for the whole deck. We have Main Deck coming in at $18.85, with $8 of that being just the Ace and Protectors, so you could technically make this deck even cheaper if you wanted to. Sideboard comes in at $8.01, with half that being the Nullifying Mirror. Again, not a required card for the deck, however it does help into certain matchups. That brings the total deck price to $29.80, which I believe should be one of the cheapest competitive able decks. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comments below if there's any specific budget decks you would like me to try build. Until next time.